Good morning. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this meeting of Tampa Bay Water's Board of Directors. The meeting was noticed in the Florida Administrative Register and on the Tampa Bay Water website. The meeting is available for viewing through live streaming, and a recording of the meeting will be posted on the agency's website. At this time, I would like to ask Vice Chair Hanowitz to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's make sure that the record reflects that Commissioner Mariano, Commissioner Wastall, and Councilman Miranda will not be in attendance at this morning's meeting. Can we please have a roll call?
Commissioner Cohen?
Here.
Councilmember Hanowitz?
Here.
Mayor Davis?
Here.
Commissioner Eggers?
Here.
Commissioner Mariano? Councilman Miranda? Commissioner Oakley?
Here.
Commissioner Wustel? Commissioner Peters? Mr. Chair, we have a quorum.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any changes to the agenda this morning? Seeing none, now is our moment for public comment. Members of the public are invited to speak for 3 minutes each. We have 2 people who are signed up this morning. The first is David Ballard Geddes Jr. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, sir. Thank you. David Ballard Geddes Jr. I live on Georgia Avenue in Palm Harbor. Historically, the indigenous Indians of the Tocobaga Indian tribe lived here in this land and occupied the waters of upper Tampa Bay area. The Tocobaga Indian tribe lived here for hundreds of years before our arrival. If our government is based on equal representation, why is there not equal representation? Why don't the Tocobaga Indian tribes have a prominent role on this board in respect of representing their concerns of the environment regarding development practices, water, and the appropriation or riparian rights regarding their indigenous homeland, their liberties, their rights, and their concerns of Mother Nature? Is there a reason why your leadership is louder in its voice than the voice of the Tocobaga Indian tribes? How many people have lived here longer than 21 years? How many people have lived here longer than 31 years? How many people have lived here for over 50 years? How many people can remember when Countryside Mall was an open cow field and Curlew Creek was full of water moccasins and banana spiders before it was polluted? And gopher turtles roamed the land and fruit trees were everywhere. What makes the logic of our current government legitimate? Does our government suffer from long-standing lack of practicality, multi-generational lack of sensibility, disproportionately empowering its own disregard of others, simultaneously empowering its own self-serving rationality, falsely assuming dominion over mankind, both secularly and prejudicially, consistently and coincidentally, disregarding the ecosystem that Almighty God created and has entrusted us to serve and protect God's ecostructure. Respectfully, I cannot respect a government that bases itself in such indifference and incivility, masquerading itself as freedom. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker is Mark Lutho.
Mark Lutho, Largo. Your A4 says you're going to deal with member demands. Well, I look at You're landscaping here at your own building. And what does that take? Oh, it takes water. And you're mutilating plants out there. What a shame, what a shame. Here's a headline, a record year for floods and heat. First glimpses of fall forecasts warn of high temperatures, more wildfires. And the headline, Tampa Bay Water wins $21 million against forever poison producers in settlement. Oh, that's going to go a long way, isn't it? Ha, ha, ha. Yeah, and then here's this article here. Yeah, the jarring contradiction at the heart of Kennedy's health agenda. Environmental Protection Agency has weakened the limits on certain environmental pollutants, including mercury, whose dangers Mr. Kennedy has inveighed against for years. Instead, House Republicans, yeah, how many up there are Republicans? Have pushed measures that would grant liability relief to pesticide companies and constrain EPA regulations of so-called forever chemicals. Oh, so you're going to be able to do a wonderful job of protecting the people from these forever chemicals or poisons. Yeah, that 21 million, I can see that going a long way. What a joke. Yeah. What do we have, 16 light bulbs shining on a wall out there? You do such a good job.
Thank you, Mr. Cliff.
Clowns.
At this time, we are going to entertain the consent agenda.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion.
Who had the second?
I believe it was Mayor.
Mayor.
Thank you.
Please record your vote on the consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman, the motion passed unanimously.
Thank you very much. We are going to move on now to the regular agenda, and our first item is the General Manager's report. Mr. Cardin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and good morning to everyone. My report will start talking about our system and give you good news. We're doing well. This graph I show every month, and we're below the purple line, which is what we targeted beginning of the year last October for demand. So we look out and plan ahead, and primarily we're underneath the projection. So we're a little bit under it. We've delivered about 198 million gallons a day as our budgeted average right now, which is about 1% less than the same period of time last year. We did receive quite a bit of rain in August, a little over 10 inches, which is about 2.5 inches above the average for August. However, the heaviest rains fell on the coastal region and not so much as inland. So we are filling the reservoir, and I'll show you where we're at in a few slides. The next slide is how are we doing with the consolidated water use permit. The limit is 90, and at the end of August, we were 76.76, which is very low. It's in the circle there. Again, that was done on purpose based upon some work we did at the surface water treatment plant. Those averages will creep up because we just flip-flop the months that we would run the different quantities. The next slide shows the South Central Hillsborough Regional Wellfield Permit. The limit is currently at 24.95, and we are at 24.75. However, there is a permit that we think will be issued in October or November that will raise that limit to 26.92. And here is the picture of our reservoir. The blue is the actual water in it, and the orange is what our projections were. So we're above it still. We're, as of checking today, we're at 13.5 billion gallons. We like to be full by the end of the fiscal year, so that's a couple weeks. And we'll see. It seems to be beautiful weather out there, but that may signal the rainy season may be dwindling down. So we'll see. But otherwise, the desal plant is operating at 16 million gallons a day, and our surface water treatment plant is producing at 60. And the city of Tampa, I think last week, started buying water, about 8 million gallons a day, and they'll be doing that for the next 2 or 3 months. So everything's all systems go. I did want to talk a little bit about the LFI River permit status. As you know, the board approved a modification that we submitted, and we were issued the permit end of July to take 19% of high river flows in lieu of the 10%, which is what we had. Since then, we've taken almost 1.2 billion gallons of additional water, going up to the 19%. Polk Regional Water Supply Cooperative still has until September 30th to decide whether they're going to challenge the permit or not. We've held several meetings. I don't believe we have any more meetings scheduled, so over the next 2 weeks, we will know if they will challenge or not the permit. The next mention is on the Cone Ranch Exchange. This is going back a ways. We've been working with Hillsborough County since 2020 to develop the South Hillsborough well field. And part of that was some land for some wells, about 4 wells and some easements they offered to give to us in exchange for water development rights that we hold up there at the Cone Ranch parcel. You can see there in the top right-hand corner. We do not own the land. The Hillsborough County ELAP owns the land, but we did retain the development rights. And so I plan to bring back a presentation next month, dusting off some of the presentations we did in I think the last one was in 2021. And so we'll go through that in greater detail next month. Plans may include bringing in November approval of it if things go well, but I needed to talk to you a little bit about it before then. It's that time of year where I make the rounds to each of your governments, your meetings. And so I have scheduled, I believe, 5 out of the 6, and you can see the dates that I will be joining you at one of your board meetings and present State of Tampa Bay Water to your boards. We are also accepting project proposals for our mini grant program. We have a total of $50,000 that is available. Projects costing from between $2,000 and $10,000 we will award. The program was expanded last year, and we got an overwhelming response, and I expect the same this year. The applications are open through November 14th, and then at the January board meeting, we will present the awards. The Florida Water Environment Association, they go by FWEA. They hosted a panel event called Women of Water. And so the event emphasized leadership, collaboration, and innovation in the water sector. As you can see there, featured is one of our own, Maribel Medina, who is our Director of Planning and Projects. She's there. I believe Lisa Ray from Hillsborough County is also up there. And so it's a wonderful event, and Maribel represents us very well. And I also wanted to share this with you. She had a great month. This is, she's featured in this Municipal Water Leader magazine. So there's extra copies if you'd like to read about that. So congratulations, Maribel.
Can we get her autograph too and a copy? That would be great.
And I believe that concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for the general manager?
Congratulations on the,
Yes.
on the nice month.
Congratulations. All right, item number B2 is the 2025-2026 regulatory plan and initiation of repeal of agency rules. And Kelly Fernandez, our general counsel, is going to take us through that.
Thank you, Chair. The regulatory plan is something you routinely see every year. It's required of all agencies. It's generally on your consent agenda. This time, we are placing it on the regular agenda because this past legislative session, a bill passed that now requires every agency to also include in their regulatory plan a list of all of their rules and a 5-year schedule for repealing all of those rules. We have looked at our rules and determined that remaining rules, most of them had been repealed already a number of years ago after your interlocal agreement was executed. Remaining rules are not required for us to maintain. They don't really add anything to the agency's authority. And to the extent that there is anything that we wish to make sure moves forward, we will make those into a board-adopted policy prior to the repeal of the remaining rules. So our recommendation included in the regulatory plan is to proceed forward with the initiation of an effort to repeal all of the Tampa Bay Water's existing rules. So I'd ask for you today to approve the regulatory plan and also the initiation of that rulemaking effort to repeal the rules.
Move approval.
Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Oakley. Commissioner Eggers seconded it. Please record your vote when it appears. There you go.
Mr. Chair, the motion passed unanimously.
All right. We have a few action items this morning. Item number C1 will be presented by Maribel Medina, Planning and Projects Director. Good morning.
Okay, good morning. Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. Agenda item C1 is an action item, and I will be requesting your approval today to submit 2 co-funding applications to the Southwest Florida Water Management District. But before making that request, I would like to provide you with a brief overview of our historical approved funding. Since 1998, and with the help and strategic advice of our legislative and congressional advisors, Tampa Bay Water has successfully secured funding from multiple sources. About $4 million through state appropriations, about $60 million from federal appropriations or grants, and about $473 million from the Southwest Florida Water Management District. Today's action item relates to the district's cooperative funding initiative, and this year applications are due October 3rd. District's co-funding request must be submitted every year for projects spanning multiple fiscal years. The requested amounts are for the fiscal year maximum reimbursable amounts set by the district. And for fiscal year 2027, we will be requesting funds for 1 program and 1 project. The first application is for the Tampa Bay Water WISE program, which is our regional water conservation rebate program that offers water-saving rebates to homeowners, multifamily, and non-residential building owners. We anticipate that up to 3.8 million gallons per day can be saved by the year 2030 at a cost lower than developing a new water supply source or project. We have previously requested about $2 million, and in fiscal year 2027, staff will request about $540,000. The second funding request is for the South Hillsborough Pipeline Project, which will be our 26 miles long, up to 60 inches in diameter pipeline designed to deliver water to the existing Lithia point of connection and a new point of connection in the Bone Riverview area. This project qualifies for up to $145 million. We have requested in previous years about $33.4 million, and staff will be requesting $17.5 million in fiscal year 2027. And with that, Tampa Bay Water staff requests your approval for the district co-funding request for both the South Hillsborough Pipeline and Tampa Bay Water WISE program. And this concludes my brief presentation. I will be happy to take any questions.
Questions? Move for approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Mayor Davis, seconded by Commissioner Oakley.
Sorry, had the wrong person. There we go.
Please record your vote.
Mr. Chair, the motion passed unanimously.
All right, Brant Bartlett, our Government Affairs Program Manager, will present items number C2 and C3. Good morning.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. Today I'll be presenting Tampa Bay Water's recommendations for our legislative consulting contracts. This is an action item, and at the end of the presentation, I will be seeking board approval for agenda item C2 and C3. To get started, I'd like to give a brief overview of our legislative team. It's comprised of our general manager and general counsel, chief of staff and chief strategy officer, myself, the government affairs program manager, and then our state and regional consultants and our federal consultants, both of whom we're discussing today. For more than 25 years, Tampa Bay Water has relied on professional services to help secure state and federal appropriations, monitor legislation and regulatory policy, and advocate on the agency's behalf when necessary, and to help build and maintain relationships with elected officials and local leaders. These efforts have helped advance the board's goals of environmental stewardship and system reliability. To date, this work has helped generate more than $525 million in grants, appropriations, and co-funding to help optimize the cost effectiveness of new supply. In May, Tampa Bay Water publicly solicited requests for proposals for each service. A selection committee comprised of Tampa Bay Water staff evaluated the proposals on the listed criteria here on the slide, and then interviewed the top 3 firms from each. The top-ranked firm was Corcoran Partners for our state and regional contract, and Jones Walker for our federal services. Both firms have a long-standing bipartisan relationships with each in their respective fields, and have proven histories of securing appropriations for their clients, including Tampa Bay Water. They each take a strategic approach to advancing client priorities and monitoring legislation and regulations. With that, for state and regional services, staff recommends approval of Corcoran Partners in the amount of $750,000 at $150,000 per year for up to 5 years. And I'd like to note that Mr. Matthew Blair of Corcoran Partners is standing by here to answer any questions the board may have.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion from Councilwoman Hanowitz, seconded by Commissioner Oakley. Please record your vote.
Mr. Chair, the motion passed unanimously.
Thank you.
And lastly, staff recommends approval of Jones Walker for federal legislative consulting services in the amount of $750,000 at $150,000 per year for up to 5 years. And I'd like to note that we have Mr. Peter Dunbar here and Mary Beth Nassif with Jones Walker, and they're here to answer any questions the board may have.
Move for approval.
Thank you. Mayor Davis is the maker of the motion, seconded by Commissioner Oakley. Please record your vote.
Mr. Chair, the motion passed unanimously.
Thank you, and thank you to both of those firms for their service to Tampa Bay Water.
Thank you.
We are going to move on now to item number C4, which will be presented by Justin Fox, Senior Engineering and Construction Manager. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. Agenda item C4 is an action item requesting your approval of the 4-year contract agreement for continued outsourcing of utility locating and designating services for Tampa Bay Water's infrastructure. This program meets Florida State Statutes Chapter 556, known as the Underground Facilities Damage Prevention and Safety Act, or Call Before You Dig, or Sunshine 811. Utility conflicts are any planned or unplanned activities that affect Tampa Bay Water, our interests, and our infrastructure, including future projects, community development, construction activities, and accidents. These can occur at any time, day or night, year-round. Our infrastructure could be impacted by other entities anywhere that they are located, whether in public rights-of-way, Tampa Bay Water easements, or in our fee-owned property. Impacts can come from other utilities such as water, sanitary sewers, electric, communications, Can also come from direct damage from corrosion, storms, or traffic accidents. This is an overview of Tampa Bay Water's infrastructure. The Utility Conflicts Program is charged with the coordination of potential impacts to all of these assets. This also includes the future locations of select infrastructure, including the monitoring of the 26-mile corridor for the South Hillsborough Pipeline. This is a simplified overview of our process. The contractor and owner will contact Sunshine 811 to create a ticket. All utilities are contacted to provide locations of their infrastructure and mark them in the field. Tampa Bay Water and our contractor will review those tickets and respond to the requester within those required timeframes. Those timeframes vary depending on the ticket, anywhere from 24 to 72 hours in general. If construction near Tampa Bay Water's infrastructure is determined to impact us, we inspect, modify, or move our infrastructure within the appropriate project schedules. Afterwards, the utility conflict is closed, documented, and the process repeats as necessary with the next utility conflict in that area. Shown are the fiscal year 2025 quantities of Tampa Bay Water's utility conflicts. The outsourced services help Tampa Bay Water filter these tickets and determine which are likely to impact our infrastructure. Note that even though we received nearly 3,600 utility conflict tickets so far this year, the combined Tampa Bay Water and GeoPoint team coordinated, marked, and at times relocated infrastructure to prevent any incidents or accidents this year. To protect our infrastructure, Tampa Bay Water Survey Department administers the Utility Conflicts Program. The team includes internal and external resources to locate and mark our infrastructure in the field. The contract includes location services, including emergency markings at any time, Sunshine 811 ticket processing, construction activity notifications, stoppage of non-permitted work, and coordination with the Sunshine 811 regulatory program. Staff recommends approval of contract number 2026-001 with GeoPoint Surveying, Inc. in the amount of $1,661,360 over 4 years for locating and designating of utility conflicts. This concludes the presentation. Happy to answer any questions.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilwoman Hanowitz, seconded by Mayor Davis. For approval, please record your vote.
Mr. Chair, the motion passed unanimously.
All right, thank you very much. We're going to move on to this morning's presentations and reports. We have 3. The first is the member government report, and that is going to be the report that's going to be given from Pinellas County this morning. So good morning, Jeremy Waugh, Pinellas County Utility Director.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Jeremy Waugh, he just introduced me, but I'll try not to bore you too much with our system. We try to stay pretty boring in our world, but
that's what we like.
Yep. So generally, this is a map of our service areas for our water and reclaim systems. We're unique in that we are a linear system, and we are bifurcated in our water in our reclaimed service districts. So we have some cities in between us that provide their own water systems and have their own water sources. But generally, we're about 117,000 utility accounts with about 23,000 reclaimed accounts. We also have some wholesale and municipal retail customers intertwined there. Just an overview of our water system. We're about 175 miles of transmission mains and 1,500 miles-ish of our distribution mains. You can see here the linear nature of our system, and it does present some challenges for us in terms of water age and water quality down towards the bottom of our system. And you can see the tank icons there represent some booster stations that we have in our system to keep our pressures and water passing all the way down through to the south there. Generally, we have lots of interconnection meters. We have a lot that are shown on the map, but we have 15 interconnects to the various cities, our partners in St. Pete, as well as the other various local cities within Pinellas County, so that regionally within the county, we can try to keep emergency supplies available to all of the citizens in Pinellas County, not just our own customers. So we work very well with our partner cities to make sure that we're all in adequate supply. So we don't have a lot of growth in Pinellas County like some of our other member governments, so I can't talk to you about some awesome plant projects we have going on and how we're expanding in these different areas. But we do have a lot of impacts that we're still recovering from over a year later from the hurricanes. I just want to highlight some of that. We had substantial damages along our beach communities and some of our low-lying areas, not just from the wave actions, which the wave actions and the sand migration from the beaches across the beaches really hurt us. In terms of just knocking over infrastructure, like we had cars driving into backflow preventers and running through buildings, and all the sprinklers in the buildings are just going off, and huge pressure and capacity problems. But we're finding now, a year later, unknown consequences of the saltwater interactions with our equipment. So these are live pictures. These before the hurricanes, this equipment did not look like this. Now a year later, we're finding this all throughout all the beach communities. So everywhere that got hit with the saltwater intrusion, we're now having to go back and reassess all that above ground infrastructure. So on top of the $50 million-ish we've requested already from FEMA, these other impacts we didn't really account for. So we're currently in the process of assessing what that is really going to mean for our infrastructure. Of the $50 million we did request from FEMA, a lot of that is our hardening and looking at our, not just water, but also sewer infrastructure and getting it above projected flood levels for the next storm that may come. And just to dive a little deeper in that, this is a slide that shows our 5 processing plants or treatment plants. The two sewer plants, W.E. Dunn and our South Cross Bayou water reclamation facility, are the 2 sewer plants and create the reclaimed water. And then you see the 3 of our water stations. So the Keller treatment plant is the North County treatment plant. We're our porting connection from Tampa Bay Water, where we take over the water from our system and pump south through the county. And then the Isle of Capri is one of our booster stations, and the Gulf Beach down in St. Pete Beach is the other booster station. And what you see there in the colors representations is the red colors are anticipated flooding during a Category 1 hurricane. So that's a more frequent event than some of the extreme ones we had last year. But you can see that any wave action really affects our beach infrastructure. And even our sewer treatment plants and reclaim plants are affected by the major storms that come through. So we have lots of projects going on. Pre-identified before the hurricanes, we had done some risk assessment and kind of identified this stuff. Unfortunately, they didn't all get done before the hurricanes came, so we were impacted. But things like adding generators, raising electrical equipment, purchasing barrier walls, which we have found to be very effective. Wish we had had those in place prior to the last hurricanes, but we're now pursuing those. Another action that we are currently highly focused on is our customer interactions, our customer engagement. In the last several years, you can see the pictures there, we've tried to roll out more interactive tools to help customers self-assist, to become more self-aware of their water usage and tracking it. And I just picked out 2 of the graphs, but there's lots of different ways they can view and be notified, self-notified through text or emails at different alert points of their water usage. We're accomplishing that through our AMI project. And some of the integrations technologies that accompany that. But overall, the last several years, I just said from fiscal 25 and fiscal 26, actually the last 3 or 4 years, we have actually held our operational costs flat as a utility, absorbing all of the costs that we have in material cost and chemical cost. And all that is in an effort to help our customers who we know are feeling the cost of the economy in lots of ways. Price of milk, the price of eggs, taxes, all that stuff. So we are aware of that, and we're doing what we can to still supply this level of service that we have while keeping our costs under control. The second bullet point there is just to highlight that we also understood and really tried to be compassionate to those affected by the hurricanes. And you see there that we helped more than 7,500 customers, and these are just the ones that we contacted or contacted us. I'm sure there are thousands more that were not total losses during the hurricane, but were somehow affected. Their business, their job, their school, they had lots of things going on that they didn't think about paying their water bill. And so we didn't just go and shut off their water. We said, okay, let's talk about it. Let's work out a payment plan. And we deferred $5.5 million of payments from water bills over a period of several months from September, October of last year through March or April of this year. And worked with those customers on an individual basis. As you might be aware, every basis is an individual story, and so we had to make notes and work through that with the customers. But to date, as of this presentation, of that $5.5 million that we deferred, 4.7-ish has been recollected and repaid. The customers have said, "Thank you for working with us. I'm back on my feet. I got I'm back in town. My house is back moving again, so I'm ready to recoup my account." So we're still working with the rest of those customers, but all of those are in good terms and good standing, so we're working through those. So major initiatives we have going on in the water and reclaimed world. We are in the second year of our AMI meter project. It's about 2.5 years in at this point. We have 130,000-ish meters to be installed, and we are about 86% complete, and we call them complete once they are in the ground, operational, and billing people. So we actually have more meters in the ground than that, but we don't call it complete until the customer thinks that it's seamless for them. In bold and green there, because we don't get to brag about this a lot, we are ahead of schedule and under budget on the $72 million project. So we are proud of that. We are scheduled to be complete or contracted to be complete by mid-26. We think we may be done in early spring of 26. So we are proud of that accomplishment. It was a very big effort on our part. Lots of customer impact and construction complications, as you might expect. Along with installing the AMI meters, we use the opportunity of digging all of those holes in people's yards to do our lead and copper inventory. So we have visually inspected every water service, both on the county side and the customer side at the meter location with a visual personal inspection. So we have more than 114,000 of those, and I'm really happy to say that we have not encountered lead pipes in any of those locations. So we're fairly confident that by the end of next year, we'll be able to go back and report to EPA that we are lead-free in our inventory. Some other CIP projects we have going on. Currently in our 6-year plan, we have a routine program to replace our metal, some of our older metal pipes, galvanized and cast iron pipes, which present water quality and aesthetic issues. About $30 million of replacement plan for the next 6 years. Those are typically small service lines, 2-inch and 4-inch lines that run local neighborhoods. We also have a 60-inch water valve replacement up at our Keller treatment plant that will help provide some redundancy for us. That just posted for bid this month, a couple days ago. We are finishing our North Booster Station VFD drives. We are at substantial completion, and that's a modernization upgrade to that booster station, which will help us, especially in conjunction with the US 19 construction project. If you live in that area, that has been going on for a while as well. But what you see in the pictures here is the last bullet point. The top picture is the Gulf Beach booster station. So that's the southernmost booster station. You can see the nice 1970s design with the curved roof. That's the existing building. That building in the front is the electrical room. We had a plan and a CIP project to elevate that whole infrastructure, and that's what the bottom picture is. You can see the windows at the top, so we were going to move all that equipment up. Unfortunately, while it was under design, 2 hurricanes hit and wiped this station out. So all of that electrical room was underwater during both hurricanes. So we have put as many Band-Aids and duct tape around that as we can to keep it operational and back online. while we finish the design and the construction project to harden that building. You can see that the estimate there from 16 to 25 million, that's because we're going to take the lessons learned from the actual hurricane and beef up the design to make that not only elevated above, but make the building a little more hard and resistant to some of the wave action. And lastly, we are currently underway and under permit to pursue a MAR well. This is the John Chestnut Park adjacent to Lake Tarpon. And this well, we expect to have permits fairly soon, this fall, maybe this month, probably October-ish. And this will help with some of the saltwater intrusion in the aquifer, as well as reducing some of the nutrient loading into the Tampa Bay, since Lake Tarpon goes down to the Tampa Bay. So hopefully that was brief enough. I'll entertain any questions and certainly any comments you have about Pinellas County.
Councilwoman Hanowitz.
Thank you, and thank you for the presentation. I know you've had your hands very full after the storms with storm recovery and all those areas that were hard hit, and it's been very challenging for those communities. So I really appreciate all the work that you've done. The AMI metering, I'm interested because we have conversations about this too at the city of St. Petersburg in terms of changing to AMI meters. And so I'm just curious as to if you can tell us a little bit more. Are these all new meters? Does it involve also the infrastructure like that, you know, behind the meters and software and all that sort of stuff? And, you know, what's the average age of the meters that are being replaced specifically?
So it's a yes to all of that. They are all brand new meters.
Mm-hmm.
The meters that we were replacing were all kinds of ages, but 10 to 30 years old in some cases. The old analog type meters. The project included not just the hardware at the site, but included the cellular endpoint that allows you to talk to the internet, and all the back-end infrastructure and servers back on the software side. What we're finding is the advantage to that is, of course, automated billing. We have less meter readers. We have less driving around the county. But we have a lot more tools at our disposal, and we're using these tools to actually contact a customer. So if we see something that's abnormal in their account, most people don't look at their water bill, let's be real, right? You don't care until there's a problem. But we can see the problem on a real-time basis, and we've reached out and caught thousands of dollars of, a pool hose that's just on in someone's house, their toilet valve is running, they don't know about it, and we're saving it, $400 or $500 a pop just with a phone call to, hey, customer, did you know you have an abnormal water usage? That's if they give us their information, right? Not everyone wants to have their email or phone number, but give them to the county. But when they do, we've found that it's been very helpful, both on the customer side and our ability to help the customer through this.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. In terms of the cost, you said $72 million. Correct. Is that for the full project? I mean, when was that started? In 2023? That's when that was bid out?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Any other that you found? We talked a little bit about the benefits. Any other challenges that come along with it, or that you found?
Lots of challenges, certainly. You're in people's yard, right? Mm-hmm. You're in their life, and a lot of times the meter that was there wasn't reading as accurately as the new meter might. So all of a sudden their bill will spike. There's also, the technology challenges of integrating your systems. We're trying to use the opportunity of the new technology to revamp how we operate as a business, so that it's a good change management tool for us as well, so that we could modernize our operations, not just the technology. So we're trying to say, here's how the world has moved on, let's move our business there, not just make the new technology match our old world of thinking. So there's staff challenges and technology, business process challenges, how you bill, all those different things should be thought through as you move forward.
So what you're saying is the old meters underread, the new meters are better at reading, which means there could be higher charges.
Sure.
And it's important for that to be communicated to customers. Yes. If anyone is considering going to change to AMI. Okay, that's an important point. In terms of the Gulf Beach pump station upgrade. I was just curious, in terms of elevation, where are you guys elevating to?
Well, I don't have the exact elevation, but 15 rings a bell in my head that we're going high. So it's essentially a second story, moving everything up to a second story for all the electrical equipment.
Good. Yeah, I know that when we were doing the elevations, there were, you projected X number at some point, and now you're just going over it, just seeing where the storms are and making sure you're safe rather than sorry.
And adding an extra foot or two just because.
Exactly.
Because we're engineers and we like to do that.
Thank you. Well, thank you for your update.
Yes.
Commissioner Eggers?
Yeah, thank you, Councilwoman, for those questions, because most of those are the ones I was going to ask, like the ongoing issues that we have. Identifying customer problems, I think, has been it's a wonderful thing to be able to do that. The bill reading has created a few customer encounters. We certainly get calls about it, but kind of working our way through that. So talk to me a little bit about how these meters that we're putting in relate to the reclaimed as well. So this is, go ahead.
Yeah, so we also, as part of the AMI meter project, we have put meters in the reclaim system where historically we were unmetered. So it was a all-you-can-eat buffet of reclaimed water from our system, which created some system challenges based, pressures and flows and availability of the resource. And as with the project now, we've started metering those so we can measure how much usage is going through an individual user, and it's going to help us balance the resource amongst all the customers.
Yeah, I think that was a big point. I couldn't believe a system without meters. When I first got here, it was mind-blowing. And then the meters have identified inline issues as well with leaks, and so there's been a lot of pluses to that. I just really wanted to take the opportunity, because I don't get to very often, to commend Jeremy for his leadership and his team over this past year. Most of us and most of our folks have worked so doggone hard doing their regular jobs, but also accelerating and meeting the challenge through these storms. And your team and you are no exception. So I just really wanted to call that out and say thank you. And I know there's just so much going on. The distribution system always makes me nervous, like where's the next leak coming from? But again, responsiveness has been, a really good thing. So I just really wanted to say thank you and appreciate the presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, we are going to go on now to item number D2, which is going to be presented by Shane Johnson, and that is our Tampa Bay Water Strategic Plan Progress Update. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. As a continuous improvement director, I'm providing the annual review of the agency's strategic plan. The update is to provide you with information on our progress and show that Tampa Bay Water is on track to complete the strategic plan by the end of fiscal year 2026. Tampa Bay Water's current strategic plan was approved in 2022 and updated in September of 2023 by the board. This plan is a critical component of the agency's continuous improvement framework. The strategic plan aims to align resources, enhance efficiency, boost quality, foster innovation, engage employees, and ensure sustainability. It is important to note that we'll be moving into our last fiscal year of our current 5-year plan. We're aiming to be complete by September of 2026. Our plan follows the GOST structure, or goals, objectives, strategies, and tactics. Our goals are defined by what we want to achieve. Our objectives bring the goals to life. Our strategies identify the paths we believe will lead to success. Our tactics are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound efforts that get the job done. It's at this base level where progress can be measured, then rolled up and reported. The current board approved plan contains 6 goals and 18 objectives. A strategic goal is a long-term, broad objective that our agency aims to achieve. It is the peak of our strategic plan and outlines the direction and priorities of this agency. These goals align with our mission and vision and are what we want to achieve by the end of fiscal year 2026. The annual review and update process that the staff has adopted are goal-centric workshops on tactical progress. In addition, we ask our extended leadership team to complete a business environment scan to identify new internal and external factors that need consideration in our strategic plan. This year, we conducted a strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats assessment, and the results were provided by a memo from the general manager in May and are provided to you at the dais. July wrapped up with workshops reviewing the goals and objectives in our plan. Considering our current progress and current business environment factors, today I'm providing the strategic plan status update. The first step in reviewing our strategic plan is checking if each tactic aligns with Tampa Bay Water's current needs. Some tactics get removed, some get added. After this review, we now have 107 tactics. This demonstrates that the strategic plan remains valid and continues to guide our work effectively. Of the 107 tactics, 57% are complete. That's up from 1/3 last year. 30% are in progress, with most scheduled to be finished by the end of this calendar year. 13% have not yet started, as their planned start date hasn't arrived yet. Here you see the 6 goals that were updated in 2023 with a representation of tactics completion or in progress. Progress shown here is measured by tactics complete or in progress. Being below the benchmark does not mean that we are behind in progress. It just shows that we have adjusted our tactics to accomplish additional steps for fiscal year 26. Some examples of projects completed to support these goals include updating the long-term master water plan, implementing a document management system to capture knowledge and ensure our policies, processes, and procedures are well documented, integrating a new financial system model, and adding new safety technician positions to strengthen infrastructure protection. This concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions or comments from board members? Commissioner Eggers.
Go back to that last slide, please. Just the goal 6. I see since we're way behind on progress benchmark by 1%. So could you speak a little bit to maybe a little bit more detail in that area, safeguarding our agency infrastructure to the extent that you can?
Yes, we are making additional steps through IT right now. Those were some added tactics, and that shows why it's below the progress mark. It's not that we're behind, it's that we've added additional tactics to make it even stronger.
And then maybe speak just momentarily, just to goal number 1, which talks about reliability and sustainability. What areas are we talking about specifically, and what are your, I guess, biggest concerns in that goal?
For that, a lot of it had to do with updating the long-term master water plan and other additional programs. I don't have the specifics in front of me, but I can get back to you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Councilwoman.
I just wanted to say, first of all, I really appreciated the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats memo that we got with the results and seeing what the agency is doing. And specifically, when there are weaknesses that were identified, you noted the items that there are currently programs or projects in progress to address. So I think that's extremely important to know, that even though that there were certain weaknesses that may have been identified in that exercise, that there are things that are ongoing to address those issues. So I just wanted to just commend you all for doing that work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next item is the Capital Improvement Program update with Rick Menzies, our construction manager. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. I will be providing an update on construction activity within Tampa Bay Water. Since the last construction update back in February, we have completed construction on 3 projects. At the desal facility, some roof damage from last year's hurricanes was repaired, along with some structural repairs. Also at DCEL, the new seawater intake was completed at TECO's Big Bend Power Plant, including a new pump station and a pipeline. And at the Cypress Creek Laboratory and Administration Building, a new transformer was installed. This enables backup generator power at these facilities. The construction cost for these three projects was $22.4 million, which is about $1.1 million or 4.5% under the board-approved contract amounts. Right now, we have 8 projects in active construction, which are budgeted construction costs of just under $29 million. The map shows each project's location, and I will give a brief update on these 8 projects. At the Eldridge Wild Well Field, 24 well sites are receiving new well houses, pumps, and motors. The first 7 Group 1 wells were completed back in March. The 7 Group 2 wells are scheduled to be completed next month. Work will then begin on the remaining 10 well sites in Group 3. All work is scheduled to be complete in the summer of next year. At the Cypress Creek Pump Station, the chemical feed system and piping are being replaced for chlorine, bleach, caustic, and ammonia. All the new underground chemical piping and electric lines are complete. The new chlorine bleach storage tanks and chemical feed pumps have been installed and are currently being tested. Next, we'll be installing new feed pumps for caustic, followed by new feed pumps for ammonia. Final completion of the entire project is scheduled for spring of next year. At the DCEL facility, 13 variable frequency drives are being retrofitted and upgraded with new and rebuilt internal parts. The drives power various pumps throughout the DCEL facility. 6 drives are complete. The remaining 7 drives are being worked on one at a time and scheduled to be complete next March. We have a second variable frequency drive replacement project at Cypress Creek. This project replaces 1 drive and retrofits 2 drives with new control boards and modules. The new equipment has been ordered but have very long lead times. New control boards are scheduled for delivery in August 2026, and the new drive is scheduled for November 2026. Installation will start at that time. The IT Technology Renewal and Replacement Program upgrades firewalls, uninterrupted power supplies, and servers at the IT data centers located here in the Clearwater Administration Building and at the Cypress Creek facility. The work is coming to a close and will be complete by the end of this month. While contractors provided the equipment, much of the installation was done by the Tampa Bay Water IT staff. At the surface water treatment plant, 2 ozone generators and associated piping and electric are being replaced. 1 new generator has been installed and is scheduled for startup next week. Work on the second ozone generator will begin in about 2 weeks with final completion in December. As part of the groundwater feasibility study, a test well is being installed in eastern Pasco County. Crews are currently clearing the site, and later this month, well drillers will begin a small diameter hole to study the area's geology. Soon after, they will drill a larger 16-inch test well about 500 feet deep, along with 3 monitoring wells. The work is expected to be complete by next summer. At the high service pump station, 5 24-inch diameter ball valves are being replaced. The new valves have been ordered with the first valve scheduled for delivery in early 2026. Each valve will be replaced one at a time with the final completion in the second half of 2027. While this work continues, Tampa Bay Water is preparing for the start of 9 additional construction projects throughout our region. These projects will begin in the fiscal year 2026 with an estimated construction cost of about $525 million. The surface water treatment plant expansion and the South Hillsborough pipeline together account for about $495 million in construction costs. This concludes the presentation. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Just one comment. It couldn't get by me. It couldn't escape me the comment that you made in the very beginning, which was a project that we were under budget on the work for the year, which again, we've had the rising prices, we've had all the issues, the team gets together, makes everybody accountable. So to all of you, thank you for that. And it is a big deal. It doesn't go unnoticed. And we have other challenges ahead, and the next project, we may get a bump over what we estimated, but incrementally, it's good to see. So thank you for that. Appreciate the team's effort.
Commissioner Eggers, thank you for pointing that out. I think that's a great point. So congratulations on any savings that you were able to achieve.
Thank you.
All right. Is there any new or old or new business that we have to take up? Yes, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Carter.
I would just like to spend a minute remembering Ed Armstrong. Many of you in the room knew him. He passed suddenly about 2 weeks ago, and he served on the governing board of the Southwest Florida Water Management District for almost a decade. He was first appointed to that board in 2014, and he was the chair in 2023. He supported many of Tampa Bay Water's initiatives, and including the renewal of our consolidated water use permit, and he also the cooperative funding that we're receiving from the South Hillsborough pipeline. Talking to my staff, they knew him pretty well, and they said several things, and mostly the common one was he asked tough questions, but he was always there, he was always open, and he was always fair. So just wanted to bring that up.
Thank you.
Yes, Commissioner.
Yeah, I've had a couple of opportunities to say a few things about Ed. First of all, the fact that, you know, the more you talk to Ed, the more you find out how much he was involved in the community. And in addition to being given an award for Mr. Clearwater at some point, which is a big deal for folks that might not know, but he just had a genuine heart about him. But when you find out all of the things that he got involved in, he told me about this little Swift Mud group thing. And when I first was on the commission here, and but he was very proud of that work, very proud of the work, and felt he had made a significant difference to the region. He was one of the top folks in land use or zoning. And when he was on your side, it was nice. When he was on the other side, he was a pain in the tail. But he did his job, and he did it really well, and always very communicative. And on a more personal note, when people got me involved in government some years back, he decided he saw this floundering guy and doing it, and he said, "Well, I'll help you out." And after that, he became a really good friend over the years. In fact, in August, I ran into him and his wife, and I'd asked him if I could meet with him in September. And there you go. So when you've got things that you're doing and you're trying to get together with people, make sure you do it, because you just never know. But he had a lot of health issues that he had kind of gotten his hands around, but you know, he loved golf, and he was out there doing what he loved the day he passed. I miss him already, but I just wanted to say thank you to Ed for all that you did. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, on that note, we will conclude today's meeting. And we will remind everyone that our next meeting will be held on Monday, October 20th, 2025 at 9:30 a.m. And we look forward to seeing everyone then. Mr. Carden.
We need to do a receive and file.
Yes. So can we please have,
Approval.
we have a motion from Councilwoman Hanowitz with second from Commissioner Oakley to receive and file. Please record your vote.
And Mr. Chair, my apologies for the emotions.
No, of course not.
Mr. Chair, the motion passed unanimously.
All right, and we are adjourned.